everybody again. So, welcome back to the English class. Today we're going to talk about predictions. Okay, so this is the topic that we're going to handle today. So, do you know anything about predictions in English?
No.
No, no idea about predictions. Okay, great. Do you know what a prediction is? Do you know what it is? No idea about what a prediction is?
When you need a plan in the future.
You need to plan in the future. Maybe, kind of. What else do you think a prediction is?
It's a suppose. You suppose.
Very good. It's when you suppose to someone happen, right? So in this case, yeah, this is a prediction. A prediction is like when you suppose that something is going to happen or will happen in the future, but you're not sure about that's going to happen. It's just a prediction. It could happen or not. But that prediction or that what you're supposing to happen in the future, all right? This is based on what you see or on what you think. So it is based on your personal opinion, or it is based on what you think is happening, or maybe it could have like a good argument about it, but everything is to happen or not. Okay. So now, learning objectives. So which are the learning objectives? So Brian, would you help me out, please, to read the first of all objective or the first objective for today?
SYPAT. Students would be able to. Lesson objectives. Students will be able to talk about prediction of the Colombian culture, understand of practice.
Just the first one, all right? So good. So students will
will
be able to. Students will be able to talk about predictions of the Colombian culture. This is the first objective. Talk about predictions of the Colombian culture. All right. Would you remind me your name, please? Jared. I'm so sorry, Jared. Would you help me out with the second objective, please? Would you help me with the second objective, please? The second one.
I participate in simple conversations about the Colombian culture.
Very good. Understand and participate in simple conversations about the Colombian culture. Very good. Excellent. So now, Colombian culture pictures. So now, I will show you some pictures. The idea is for you to identify that those pictures, they correspond to some behavior that we have in our Colombian culture. And the idea is for you to try to identify what those behaviors are in order for us later to talk about those predictions, how will they be in the future. Okay? So now, let me show you those predictions. You able to see? Okay, no problem. Give me just one moment, please. Okay, thank you. Great. So let's talk about the Colombian culture. The first picture that you see in here, are you able to see the picture? Yep. Good. What are they doing? What is this behavior of our Colombian culture? What is this? This action? Dancing. Very good. So they are dancing. All right. And what is the difference of this dance between like the other countries' dances? What is the difference? The clothing, very good. So the clothing, the dress code is totally different, right? Very good. This is typical of our country. Okay. What type of music do you think it is? Good. Cumbia, what else? Is that like joropo?
Joropo.
Porro? What else? Porro, not the one that is talking about like the type of music, right? Okay, very good. Excellent. Let's continue. Very good, the shoes are different. Now, sorry, give me just one moment, please. Good. Do you see this picture? What are they doing? What is that action, or what do you identify in this picture as? Good. They are selling fruit. Pretty good. So first of all, they are selling. This is one of our behaviors that we have to identify. They are selling something. All right. Where do they do it? Where do they sell?
They are palenqueras.
Very good. They are palenqueras. All right. So normally they sell like on the street, right? They have some fruit in here. What is this? Is this fruit?
No.
What is this?
Carimanola.
No,
Sweets.
Yeah, pretty good.
Ah.
What else? Sweets?
Sweets.
You say maybe some sweets? What else?
Cocadas.
Like a candy.
Candy.
Very good. No, sweet candy, no problem. Yeah, like mantecada, you said? I don't know, like
Maybe.
typical food, like empanadas, maybe you think so? No? Maybe? Arepa de huevo, alright, things like that. So they are things typical of our country, right? Pretty good. What do you think about her dress code? Okay, very good. Black dress code. So it means that, yeah, this is a typical dress code of our country. But I mean, is this in Bogota that you see like normally people with that dress code?
No.
Which part of Colombia is this?
Cartagena.
Okay, the coast. Very good, excellent. So Cartagena, Caribe, alright? So this is like the type of dress code that they use, or they wear. That dress code. Alright? Okay, so now we have identified two things, like dancing, the dress code, and now the type of food. Alright? You see? So they are typical things of our Colombian culture. So the dress code, dancing, including that the type of music, also like the food. Now let's continue. Let's continue seeing some pictures. What do you see in here? Ajiaco. What else? Coffee. Very good. This is typical of our country. Mondongo. Okay. What else? Chontadura.
Aguardiente.
Aguardiente. Very good. How do you think you say bandeja paisa in English? Bandeja paisa, that's an important thing. The typical food doesn't have a translation. You don't say something like empanadation, no, you don't say that, right? You say empanada, you say mondongo, you say bandeja paisa. The typical food doesn't have a translation. You have to use it in the corresponding word of its proper language. Okay?
Coffee of Colombian.
Well, coffee is different because coffee is not, this is typical of our country, but this is not only for our country. Everybody in the world knows what coffee is, so that's why coffee has translation, because it is typical of our country, but this is not created by us, this is not only by us, this is everybody's in the world. So that's why you say coffee in English. But bandeja paisa is, just Colombia, that's it. So that's why bandeja paisa is bandeja paisa everywhere. Okay? Cuy. Very good. Now, let's see another picture. What do you see in here? singer, so she's singing. She's playing the drum. What else? How about the dress code? What do you think about the dress code?
Coco.
What, how do you
Sombrero.
hat? It's a hat. Pretty good. Here we have like the traditional sombrero volteado, and this is here from our country. Alright? What else do you see in here? Where do you think they are from? Yeah.
César.
Cesar, you say?
Valledupar.
Valledupar. Okay, pretty good. So what type of music do you think they are singing?
Vallenato.
They are singing vallenato. Okay, very good. Yeah. So you see, so in here we see like some other characteristics of our country. So in this moment we are identifying that in our Colombian culture, this is not just Colombian culture for the whole country. That's it. No. Depending on the region, depending on the place of Colombia, we have different cultures. We have different type of music. We have different type of dress code. All right. We have different type of food. So you see that? Pretty good. Excellent. Now, how about this picture?
They are marimondas.
They are marimondas. Very good. Where are they from?
Barranquilla.
They are from Barranquilla. How about the dress code? Do you see this dress code every day in the street?
No.
No. Only there and for special celebrations, right? What type of celebration do you celebrate with this type of dress code? Very good. The Barranquilla Carnival, right? That's the way, you see? Excellent. So, what is this?
Chiva. No.
Is that a chiva?
Carroza.
Like a carroza, you say? Comparsa. Where do you think what are they doing? They are celebrating, right? So this is one of our typical things in Colombia, is that we celebrate a lot, all right? We have celebrations for everything, right? We have celebrations, and depending on the region of the country, we have a different celebration, right? Very good. Where do you think this is happening? Where do you think? Where? What place of Colombia do you think this is happening? Nariño?
No. This is the Barranquilla.
Yes?
No,
Porque acá a este lado hay sombreros volteados.
only one.
Oh yeah, okay, only one? Actually, she has another type of hat, you see? What else?
Cartagena.
Cartagena, you say?
I dice International Music Festival of Cartagena.
No, here says cultural activities and events.
Es que mira las construcciones, no son.
Right.
Festival Blanco Civil.
Mira los árboles, son de clima frío.
Look at the trees. So another characteristic, we have different type of nurture, right? So we have different type of trees, we have different type of animals, we have a different type of flora, right?
Medellín.
Medellin,
They,
what do you think? Bogota?
They,
They're wearing,
Ruanas.
they're wearing
How about this picture?
Bogotá.
This is Bogota, alright? This is La Candelaria. How or why is La Candelaria different to the rest of Bogota, or why is Bogota different to the rest of the country? Okay, the architecture. So what is architecture? Like the type of houses, right? good. So the type of houses. Why? Why are they different? Why are those houses like different to the rest of the Bogotan houses?
This place was the foundation of Bogota.
Very good. And
And the houses is different in the north and south, but the Candelaria is colonial houses.
pretty good. So the Candelaria has colonial houses. That's why it's like different to the rest of the country. Yeah. So very good. Now let's see another type of picture in here. How about this picture? What is that? He's singing. Okay. Very good. So if you see, like on the other picture that we were seeing, like a woman that was singing, yeah, and she was singing like, I don't know, like a cultural song of the region. But now here we see like another type of region. All right. So if you see, it's like a young man, yeah, singing like rap or reggaeton or something that belongs to our culture in Bogota. All right. So it's like totally different from the other type of regions that they keep their own culture. Here we have like urban cultures. All right. Pretty good. Yeah, and also in the Caribbean and everywhere, but this is like another type of culture. So they are like subcultures between our big culture. Right? Pretty good. So let's see the last picture. Give me one moment, please. Look at this picture. This is the man. How about this one, right? It's like an elegant place. Really good. Look at the cup, right? Look at the plate. But now they are eating tamal, alright? That this is like, sorry?
Milk in cup.
Milk in cup. This is like milk in cup, alright? As you see, this is the representation that this is very important for us. That this is not elegant, but this is what we like. Alright? This is part of our culture. Very good. So well, and so on. We have like many things in our culture. Now, let's continue with the task. One of our objectives was that we have to talk about predictions of our Colombian culture. Alright, so we have to talk about what will happen in our culture in the future. Alright, so maybe, I don't know, maybe task, tarea, alright, or actividad. So in this case, maybe I think that, I don't know, reggaeton will disappear. Alright, maybe this is one of my predictions, that reggaeton will not exist anymore in the future, maybe in 5 years. But this is my prediction. Maybe it could happen, maybe it could not happen. Alright? Maybe another prediction that I may give you is that the Colombian politics will be worse, será peor. Alright? This is one of my predictions. I don't know if that will happen or not, but this is one of my predictions. Alright? This is one example of what you have to do at the end of the lesson. You have to give me some predictions of the Colombian culture in English. Alright? But during this process, I'm going to teach you or I'm going to show you how we may give those type of predictions in English. Okay? So now, in this video, we are going to see like some differences or some things important in our cultures. I mean, in order for you to see like how the Colombian culture works, alright? And in that way, you will be able to take like some ideas in order for you to make your predictions for the future. So give me one moment, please.
culture is a lot different.
I'm so sorry. Do you have volume in here? No. Do you listen? ¿Sí están escuchando acá?
Sí.
Sure.
So American culture, the people there to start off are really humble.
Would you help me, please?
A lot of them, they make probably a good person make about $15 a day, and the Sunrims are really humble people.
Okay, thank you. Well, so let's watch the video. Remember like to take some ideas of our Colombian culture, okay?
Culture is a lot different from American culture. The people there to start off are really humble. I mean, a lot of them, they make probably a good person make about $15 a day, and it's not very much. And so they're a really humble people, but they're really happy people. And that's just something that I learned while I was serving there, is that you don't have to be rich to be happy. You can be happy in any circumstance.
Give me one moment, please. Okay, now. Okay,
The people there to start off are really humble. I mean, a lot of them, they make probably a good person make about $15 a day. And so they're a really humble people, but they're really happy people. And that's just something that I learned while serving, is that you don't have to be rich to be happy. You can be happy in any circumstance that you're in. And so I love seeing, the people, and a lot of the common jobs there would be taxi drivers or bus drivers. And it's interesting because when you're driving along in a taxi or a bus, they will have people there in the streets that, trying to make money, they will either perform for you when you're stopped at a stoplight. It's like you'll stop at a stoplight and then someone will come out into the middle of the crosswalk and they'll start juggling chainsaws or fire or whatever, or they'll go car to car with a windshield washer and some liquid, some fluid, and they'll spray your windshield and they'll start washing it off, and then they'll go by your car and ask for money. Or some people will sell flowers. Colombia is known for having flowers. I would say a lot of the flowers that you buy in your local grocery store are from Colombia, because they grow a ton of flowers there. So you'll see people selling flowers on the streets, or just selling whatever thing you can find on the streets there when you're just stopped at a stoplight. So I found that was really interesting and really entertaining as well, because they would have a lot of super talented people. You're stopped at a stoplight and you'll see people jumping on each other's shoulders, and you'll see someone, another interesting thing is that you would see someone just frozen on the street, dressed up like a transformer or dressed up like a statue. And then if you walk by and if you drop a coin into the little box out in front of it, then they'll do some kind of animation or some kind of fun thing, some kind of interaction with you. And so I thought that was interesting, that people will literally do anything to be able to provide for their families there. Even if it's in the middle of the heat of day, they will be out there working in the streets trying to get money for their families. Another thing about the Colombian culture that was different, that kind of surprised me, was that when you are in a car and you're closing the car door, you need to make sure you close it soft. Because, here in America, you get out of the car and you shut the door, and it's fine, and you can shut it hard, and it doesn't matter. But in Colombia, if you close the door harder than closing it softly, those people will get at you for it. And it will be scary. If you close the door harder than you're supposed to, you'll get yelled at, saying, like, what are you doing, trying to break my car? I assumed the doors were meant to be closed hard, but I guess you just have to be really careful about closing doors in Colombia. Another thing about the culture is that people just love telling you about their Colombia. They love their culture. They love their heritage. They love their traditional Colombian dress. And wherever you go, you'll listen to the traditional Colombian music, which is vallenato. And it's a music that has accordions, and it's kind of a happy dance music, but they will just blast this music from the streets wherever you're at. And some people in Colombia, they will have a bigger sound system than their house. I mean, that's all they care about. They care about their music and their dancing, and it's just interesting because whatever kind of party you go to in Colombia, whether it's a birthday party or a ward party or any kind of party, they just dance. And they are just a happy dancing people. And you'll go there, and it's funny because people would ask me all the time, they'd be like, so you guys dance in America? I'd be like, well, yeah, we dance a little bit. And they would say, cool, great. But it was nothing like how they dance. I mean, with the girls, their hips would be swinging, and the guys, their posture would just be super elegant, and they would do all these crazy things. And it's just something that I really appreciate about their culture is that they've just really cherished that culture of dancing and their dress and the music that they listen to. And so that's something that I love about the Colombian culture.
Great.
This was brought to you by 24 Hour Ring.
Okay, great.
So, that was like a person, an American person who lives in the USA that came to Colombia, all right, and he learned like some experiences of the Colombian culture. He was telling like some differences between the American and the Colombian culture, all right. What do you think about what he experienced?
Pretty much flowers.
Yeah, like a lot of flowers. We have flowers for every moment.
And in American country, no closing the doors.
Yeah, I mean,
And
they just close the doors, but they don't worry if it is like harder or like softly. But he was telling like here, everybody in Colombia, I mean, if you have a car and I close like harder your door, you're going to start, what are you doing with my door? Are you going to break my car or what are you doing? Like that everybody yelling because of the closing door of your car. What else?
For Colombian, everything is fine.
Yeah. For Colombian people, yeah, we have party for everything. Yeah, that's
the American is not like dancing.
Yeah, they don't know how to dance. All right, they go party like I don't know once a year, once 2 years. All right, but they are not like frequently with parties.
The Colombian people, very funny.
Yeah, we are very funny for that. What else? What were we going to say?
Boring.
The Colombian is the typical dress.
Yeah, that he liked like the typical dress that they have in the regions. Now, if you go to America, you're not going to find like a person with a typical dress. This is just for special occasions. But here in Colombia, if you go like to La Guajira, to to Cartagena, to like different to Chocó, you're going to find people that every day they have like the typical dress code or something like that. You see?
And
What else?
Music.
Different type of music that we have in here.
type of music.
Yeah, normally the type of music that they listen to is just like the music that they listen to the radio, like the normal one that we have like here, like Juanes or Shakira that we have in here. But in English for for Bruno Mars or something like that they listen to. But here in Colombia we have a lot of different type of rhythms, different type of genres, different type of music. We may listen vallenato, we may listen salsa, we may listen merengue, we may listen like every kind of music that we can imagine. They don't have like a lot of genres as we have here in Colombia. Alright? So that's why. What else? What else would you identify in the video?
I don't remember.
You don't remember? There's an important thing that he saw that there were many people working in the street. I mean, selling things I don't know, cleaning cars, doing everything on the street, but I mean, here, the Colombian person does everything he can do in order to get money for the family. Alright? In America, they don't see like that way everybody working on the street. No, they don't see that. Right? That like mostly like the mind that they have is like they have to get a job in a company, getting money, and that's it. Yeah, but here in Colombia, if you don't have a job, you go to the street, you sell flowers, you sell everything you may do, but the idea is to get money. Alright? Pretty good. So, taking into account that information, now we will see how you make predictions in English.
Oh, so why each one like middle?
One moment, please.
Porque no desaparece la bandeja.
No?
Ahí está.
Okay, good.
Sí.
No problem, no
Sí.
problem, no problem.
Okay.
Hello, football fans, and welcome to the World Cup 2018 overview. For each one of these segments, as each nation, how they got there, and what we expect from them. In this film, we'll take
Okay, what happened?
Hello, football fans, and welcome to the World Cup 2018 overview. For each one of these segments, I'll analyse each nation, how they got there, and what we expect from them in Russia. In this film, we'll take a close look at Colombia. Colombia returns to the world stage after securing fourth place in the South American qualifying campaign behind Argentina, Uruguay, and eventual winners Brazil. The tournament in Russia will be the country's sixth appearance, being featured in the 62, 1990, 94, 98, and 2014 championships. Speaking of the 2014 World Cup, last time out they made it to the quarterfinals, having topped Group C ahead of Greece, Ivory Coast, and Japan. In the knockout stages, they defeated Uruguay, eventually losing to host nation Brazil 2-1. Performance in Brazil was the country's best, and something that they would like to emulate when the second round comes around. Jose Gomes still is in charge, and the majority of the FIFA will be back on it. Colombia hope to kick all the way off. Responsible eye on those of appearance such as Howard and Sam.
I'm sorry, give me one moment.
And look forward to a lengthy
We have a problem maybe with the connection, I don't know. If you want, we may try again.
Welcome to World Cup 2018 team overviews. In each one of these segments, I'll analyse each nation, how they got there, what came from them in Russia. In this film, we'll take a closer look at Colombia. Colombia returned to the world stage after securing fourth place in the South American qualifying campaign behind Argentina, Uruguay, and eventual winners Brazil. The tournament Russia will be the country's sixth appearance,
What
being
happened?
featured in the 62, 1990, 94,
Okay, maybe we have like a connection problem in here, but yeah. Actually, what you could see about the video, he's talking about predictions, all right, that will happen in the World Cup of 2018, all right. So he was making predictions. Did you identify how he was making the predictions for Colombia? What was he using for the predictions? No? Okay, no problem. I'm going to show you something that is really, really important. That is did you see that word? Will. Will is the auxiliary of the future simple. The future simple or the future will, okay, is the grammar tense that we use to make predictions. Okay, so that's why we're going to talk about predictions in English, and we're talking about like Colombian predictions. Okay, one of the examples that he was making about one prediction of the Colombia soccer team was that Colombia will lose the World Cup. Colombia will lose the World Cup, right? So you see, so it means that Colombia will not win the World Cup. This is one prediction. How do you say? Or
No, what is
lose
lose?
in Spanish?
Yes.
Perder. Right, right.
Okay.
So this is a prediction for the future. Like Colombia will lose the World Cup. Alright? Pretty good. What type of other predictions you can make about Colombia? Example like talking about music, culture, food, culture, dress code, everything that we've talked about like, about Colombia. Give me please like some predictions using like future will, please. What do you think Colombia will be? Or how do you think Colombia will be?
Colombia will be potential economic.
Okay, pretty good. Excellent. So Colombia will be an economic no will be will have potential economy. Yeah, Colombia will have a potential economy. Okay, very good. What else?
I think will it be Colombian very expensive?
Okay, so Colombia will be very expensive. But what do you mean with Colombia? Like the country, or what more specific will be expensive?
On the country.
All the country. But what do you mean? Like selling Colombia, o sea, vender el país es costoso? What do you mean?
Yes.
Okay, good. So living in Colombia, pretty good. So living in Colombia will be expensive. Pretty good. What do you identify in those sentences? What do they have in common? Will, pretty good. So it means that for every prediction in English, we use future will. And will is the auxiliary. This is the auxiliary. Okay? So actually, the corresponding structure is that for the affirmative form in a prediction is that we use the subject, the person, okay, that in this case is Colombia or living in Colombia or, alright? We have the auxiliary that is will, and we have the verb, alright, that is after will. You see, so the verb in here is lose, have, or be, okay? And then we have a complement, simple as that. We have a subject, the auxiliary will, the verb, and a complement. Very easy, right? Okay. So, another example. One of my predictions that I'm going to make is that empanada will get people sick in 5 years. Empanada will get people sick in 5 years. Alright? What does it mean? That because like many people is eating and eating a lot of empanadas, yeah, in 5 years we will have a lot of businesses or diseases, alright, about like eating empanada. I don't know, like cancer or something like that. This This is one of my predictions. I'm not sure if that's going to happen or not. Alright?
What is sick?
Sick?
Enferma.
Get sick is enfermarse. Okay, or enfermar. So like many people will get sick because of the enfermarse. Okay?
Una enfermedad.
Alright, very good. Another example. So I'm going to say about Colombia. Let's talk about soccer. So let's say that James, or James, as you want to say, James will return to Real Madrid in 2 years. So James Rodriguez will return to Real Madrid in 2 years. You see? This is just one prediction. Maybe it will happen, maybe it will not happen. Alright, but this is just one prediction. Okay? So as you can see, what is the subject or the person in this sentence?
Hans. James.
Alright, James or James is the person. Next is the auxiliary, that is will. Next is the verb. What is the verb of the action here? Return is the action, very good. And the complement is to Real Madrid in 2 years. Right? Very good. Yes?
Will be.
Will be.
Will be.
Be is the verb in this case.
Zero star.
Zero estar. That in this case, the auxiliaries is, in, or are only for present. The auxiliaries was and were are for the past. Alright? But for the future, we don't have auxiliaries. For the future, we use the corresponding auxiliaries. That in this case, for the future will or the future simple, is will. Will be. Será or estará. Alright? Very good. Excellent. So, those are like the actions or some examples about predictions about Colombia in the future, right? But this is in present. How do you think you make a negative prediction?
Colombia will not lose to World Cup.
Okay, Colombia will not lose the World Cup. Very good. Let's try it. Colombia will not lose the World Cup. Do you think is that correct? Yes. Why?
The future simple,
Mhm.
que en el futuro simple no se usa otro tipo como do, das, o dasen, más bien,
Mhm.
para decir que no pasará.
Pretty good. So in this case, the only auxiliary is
No,
Will.
the only auxiliary is will, and in this
Will,
case we
no.
say will not. What do you think is the contraction, Jire? What do you think the contraction is for will not? Is there any contraction? What do you think? What is?
no.
No.
Sure? Let's try this one. Normally the contractions are like the auxiliary
Will. Yes.
and apostrophe T. This is like a normal contraction. But this is not correct. This is not correct. The contraction of the future will with the negative is want. This is the contraction. Okay? This is the only difference. This is the only like difficult thing. Okay? Because the rest of the stuff, future simple is very simple. Very, very easy, very simple. Okay? Very good. Gide, would you give me another example of the Colombian country? I don't know, example like, what type of music do you like?
De todo.
De todo, alright, but de todo is like vallenato, reggaeton, salsa, what is this?
Salsa, merengue, vallenato.
Very good. Let's talk about salsa. That salsa so far has been like an important kind of music since like a long time, and nowadays salsa is still a very representative type of music for Colombia, right? So, how do you think that how do you think that salsa will be considered in the future? Maybe in 5 years. So, do you think that maybe salsa will be like very important, or like that salsa won't exist, or what do you think about salsa? Give me a predictions about salsa in 5 years. What do you think? Give me a predictions about salsa in Colombia for the future. What do you think? Estás perdida. Estamos hablando de predicciones, ¿cierto? Las predicciones se hacen con Will, ¿cierto? Intenta darme una predicción acerca de la salsa, de qué será la salsa o cómo será considerada la salsa, ¿cierto? En 5 años. Utilizando Will. Try it. First of all, we have a subject. Tenemos siempre primero un sujeto, ¿no? ¿Cuál sería el sujeto? Let me help you. ¿De quién estamos hablando? ¿De qué estamos hablando? Salsa. Very good. So salsa would be the subject. What is next? What is coming, Juliet? Will. Very good. Now, what is your prediction? ¿Qué quieres decir? ¿Cuál es tu predicción? ¿Qué piensas acerca de qué será la salsa o qué pasará con la salsa en 5 años? Pretty good. Okay. La salsa, ¿cierto? Entonces seguirá siendo escuchada, ¿cierto? So, how do you say that in English? No? No problem. Cambiemos de una manera más fácil que lo puedas decir mejor. Digamos que los jóvenes seguirán escuchando salsa. So, first of all, how do you say jóvenes in English?
Yo,
Young people. What is next?
will,
Will. What is next?
will be,
Will continue listening. Salsa. In 5 years. You see? So, example, like young people will continue listening to salsa in 5 years. It's missing here too. Okay. You have a question, Mr. Angel?
Maybe
What is your question?
salsa won't disappear in next years.
Perfect. Salsa won't disappear in next years. Perfect prediction. Salsa no desaparecerá en los próximos años. Very good. Excellent prediction, sir. Excellent prediction. Yes.
One question.
Yes.
Like, si una persona americana llega a leer eso, ¿no pensará en que es salsa? No, o sea, es decir, no sé, sí, no sé cómo se diga salsa en inglés, pero hablo de salsa, de ketchup. Pero entonces en este caso no se debería decir como de music salsa music.
Yeah, you may say salsa or salsa
Porque,
music.
pues no sé, digo,
Ajá.
O ritmo.
porque qué tal
Very
que
good.
Sí,
lo
sí.
piensen en otra
Salsa
manera de
fusión.
salsa.
Yeah, the thing is that, of course, if we're talking about like salsa music, we're talking about like in Colombia or about
Para
a
nosotros
context.
está bien,
Alright?
pero
Perdón, es igual salsa, se escribe igual salsa en inglés que en español.
Salsa is a typical
por lo que
kind of
significa
music,
la
so we
cara
don't
está
translate
bien.
it. Salsa is salsa.
Salsa.
Empanada is empanada.
Okay.
That's it.
This is Colombia.
Because it's Colombian.
Salsa en inglés, o sea.
Alright,
crema,
this is
crema,
different because this is
different.
like the cooking salsa, no, this is like the ketchup or this is sausage.
Sausage.
Sausage is different,
Different.
alright?
More simple.
Ah,
Similar with sausage.
Yes.
pero
Right.
mi pregunta iba
Bueno.
más a que si una persona leyera eso, no se iba a confundir.
We have to contextualize. I mean, let me give you the next example. I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna speak in Spanish to give you that example. El Producto Interno Bruto va a mejorar en el siguiente año. ¿Tú qué me respondes a eso?
No, pues lo entiendo porque, bueno, no recuerdo que es bruto, pero no se va al contexto de que es un burro, una persona.
Alright? Pero, o sea, ¿qué sucede? O sea, ¿tú qué me respondes a eso que yo te digo? Producto Interno Bruto mejorará por el siguiente año.
Sí,
¿Qué sí? ¿Y qué es eso? ¿De qué estamos hablando?
de moneda. Ay, no conozco bien de eso, pero lo entiendo.
That's it. Exacto, o sea, no podemos en este caso de pronto entrar a hablar de una predicción, ¿cierto? Si no estamos hablando dentro de un contexto, de un tema que los dos manejemos, ¿cierto?
Sí,
Igual, si yo estoy hablando con una persona de este tipo de música, es porque esa persona sabe de qué le estoy hablando. Si no, antes de hacerle esa predicción, tiene que haber una contextualización en la cual yo le explique, si uno sabe, pues explicarle qué es eso para así poder hablar de ese tema, ¿sí? Entonces ahí ya se trata en este caso de no solamente pues expresar las ideas, sino saberlas expresar en un contexto.
Se le podría poner sonido, salsa.
O simplemente en este caso, con esto que por ejemplo tú pones aquí de salsa music, ya al menos sabemos que estamos hablando de un tipo de música. ¿Sí? Esto serviría para contextualizar
Depende del contexto.
esto de lo que estamos hablando. Okay? Good. Now, we already talked about like some predictions, okay, in affirmative, but I would like you to give me one prediction in negative. Please give me negative predictions. Seamos negativos, seamos pesimistas. About a different topic, I don't know. Talk about Colombia. So tell me, I don't know, politics, music, food, religion, whatever you want to talk about Colombia. We have many
The
topics.
president.
Okay, the president.
The president
Yeah, the president.
won't be
Very good.
the
Won't,
best.
won't be the best.
President.
Okay, very good.
Very good.
So the president won't be the best president. No, no, no. Actually, he is not the best president. So actually, that prediction, I think that is going to be a good prediction in 5 years. All right, that he's not going to be, or he won't be the best president. Perfect. What do you think?
Presidency Colombia. Won't be the best
Yeah.
president.
The best president of the Colombian historical presidents.
That's a good president.
Okay. What else? What else? Pick up on one prediction. All of you are going to give me a negative prediction. I want you to be pessimistic.
The Colombian is the Colombian won 31. No sé cómo decirlo.
disappear.
I'm so sorry?
But the Hammond won't be disappear.
Van der Hamen. Actually, I don't know how to write it, so I apologize. No sé cómo se escribe. I'm gonna just type it like that. Van der Hamen. You said what?
Won't be disappear
Won't be disappeared.
because Peñalosa will be
Destituido.
But I mean, won't be disappeared.
won't disappear.
Actually, I would change it like won't disappear because like no estará desaparecidos. Like,
No estará
Something.
destruido.
Won't disappear.
that would be like won't disappear.
Ah,
Okay.
disappear is appear.
Give me one moment. Yeah, disappear is a verb. Yeah, this is a verb. Give me one moment, please. That with double P. Yeah, it's with double P. Pretty good. But the Hammond won't disappear. What else?
The Colombian won't be economic rival.
The Colombian. Are you talking about the Colombian people? Or what are you talking about? Okay, Colombia.
Yes.
Okay, good. The country. So it would be
Country.
Colombia. Colombia what?
Colombia won't be
Okay, won't be.
economic.
Okay. Economic. What do you want to say?
La economía de Colombia estará mal.
So,
No está.
No estará.
so in this case, it wouldn't be Colombia. Tell me the expressions now. Tell me again the expression in English.
El sujeto.
Yeah. What is the subject?
Colombia, ¿no? La economía. De economía. Sí, economía.
Very good.
De economía.
That's why it is important to think who is the subject, quién es el sujeto, right? So in this case would be like the economy.
The economy
So the economy. What?
won't
Yeah.
Colombia.
No.
No, the economy.
Actually, the subject would be like Colombian economy. Colombian economy would be the subject. So, Colombian economy.
No, Colombia. Ah, okay.
What else?
Economy. Change.
Colombian economy. Want?
Está mal.
Pero entonces ahí no me estarías diciendo el negativo.
No estará.
Okay.
No
Want.
estará mal.
Won't be.
Won't be.
Ajá.
Mal, no me acuerdo. Bad.
Bad. Very good. Colombian economy won't be bad. Okay.
Esto me dificulta.
No problem. This is just like the process that you have to analyze who is the subject. But no problem. This is easy, right? Good. Who else? Brian, you ready? Jire, please tell me your negative prediction. About any topic of Colombia. Example, one of my example will be like the Maluma won't win any other Grammy at all. Yes?
Yeah.
That would be like
Very good.
one of my predictions. I don't know what you think.
the student protest.
Okay.
Es que no sé cómo se dice paro.
Protest.
Won't be stopped.
Oh my God, very good predictions. So, the student
How
protest.
do you say paro?
Protest. Students protest. Won't be stopped. Okay, but in this case, I would change it. I would change the prediction by like students protest won't stop. I would change it. By the way, would be like better. No parará. Alright? Mm-hmm. Yeah, stop suburb. Very good. So, who else?
The contamination.
Pollution.
Okay, gracias.
Pollution, a problem?
The pollution. One.
Uh-huh.
How do you say mejorar?
Improve.
Won't improve in 5 years. No,
In 5 years.
2
Okay.
years.
Okay, 2 years. So pollution won't improve in 2 years. La contaminación no mejorará en 2 años. Very good prediction. Brigitte.
No es-
Chile.
Jiret, no te hagas de rogar. Please tell me your prediction. Cualquier predicción de cualquier tema que te guste, de la cultura colombiana. Mira que ya hemos hablado de que tenemos mucha diversidad y muchas cosas de nuestra cultura.
Teacher, one question.
Ujú.
Si yo quiero decir, bueno, es que quedé pensando en algo. Si yo quiero decir en este caso de mejorar algo, ¿cómo digo yo mejorar? Por ejemplo, yo estoy enferma y voy a mejorar mañana.
Get better.
¿Se dice igual o es diferente?
No, en ese caso es get better.
Get better.
Pero pues también
Pero
podrías decir
diferente.
improve. También lo podrías decir, pero en ese caso se utiliza mejor get better.
O sea, suena mejor decir que
Ajá, suena mejor decir get better.
better, doble T,
Dime.
doble T.
Ya. Chile, let me help you, te ayudo, pero ayúdame también. Okay.
Corrupción.
Oh, very good topic. Colombian corruption.
En Colombia no para la corrupción.
Okay, very good. So Colombian corruption. What else? Want. Okay. Want. What is the action? What is the action? Yeah, but in English? How do you say? Stop. Very good. So Colombian corruption won't stop. All right. This is not a prediction in 1 year, in 2 years. This is ever. All right. All right. So Colombian corruption won't stop ever. Very good. Yes, sir.
Rain won't stop tonight.
Pretty good. Rain won't stop tonight. Excellent. Rain won't stop tonight. Vivian, did you already give me the prediction? Yeah. The pollution, yeah. It's like, yeah, it's cool, like having here, yeah. Very good. So, yeah, as you can see, so now the predictions can be with will not or won't. This is like the negative form, okay? But let me ask you something. How do you think you make a question about the prediction in English? How do you think we make that question? Pretty easy. So now do you understand why English is the easiest language in the world? First of all, every question starts with auxiliary. So will, very good. Will, Colombian, corruption. No want, because want is the auxiliary negative. Stop. So, will Colombian corruption stop? What do you think? Will Colombian corruption stop? No, it will not stop. It won't stop. Alright? Very good. Never. Example. Mr. Angel, would you help me to change this negative prediction into a question in English, please? Yeah, this negative prediction. Help me to become it into a question. How would you make that question?
Will pollution
Very good.
improve in 2 years?
Excellent. Will pollution improve in 2 years? What do you think? Will pollution improve in 2 years?
No,
In 10?
Pollution.
Never.
Actually, what I think is that pollution won't improve ever, because every day, instead of like taking care of the planet, we're destroying the planet. So, in this case, I don't think pollution will improve. Okay. What else? Brian, now that you are the young student nowadays. And also you, Jeanette. What do you think? Will students' protest stop? What do you think? The students' protest. Will the students' protest stop? Will the students' protest stop? What do you think? That's the idea of making a prediction. Esa es la idea de hacer una predicción. No estamos seguros, pero vamos a dar una hipótesis de a ver qué, o sea, pensamos que sí pase o no pase. This is the idea of a prediction. Maybe with the next president. All right. So with the next president, the students will stop the protest. Okay. Maybe. What do you think, Brian? Will the students' protest stop?
The president will meet with the students, the protest stop.
Okay. In this case, that would be like if the president meets the students.
Okay, the president meets the students, the protest will stop.
Very good. That's the way. If the president meets the students, the protest will stop. That's correct.
What is
Means.
meets?
Meets. This is simple present. Look at that. If the president meets the students, the protest will stop. This is called like the third conditional. And I'm so sorry. This is first conditional. This is first conditional. What it means? That we have a prediction, of course, that the protest will stop, but that prediction has a condition, alright? What is the condition? That the president has to meet the students in order for the students to stop the protest. So in this case, let's say like if the president meets, reunirse, if the president meets the students, alright? So the protest will stop. They will be translated to Spanish like reunirse con, alright? Okay? That's why it is in simple present. Okay? Very good. Questions? No? I'm gonna give you a challenge. Voy a dar un reto. Give me now a question. Okay? Give me now a question. Using future will with a possible prediction. Okay? And give me that prediction or that question with a WH question. I'm gonna give you one example. So it would be like, when will the president meet the students? So you see, this is a prediction, but with a WH question. You remember the WH questions? What, when, why, how? So in this case, we have like a WH question, and then remember, this is like a normal question. So it just starts like with the auxiliary, but before of the auxiliary, we have the WH question. Okay? So example like, when will the president meet the students? This is my example. Okay? So what do you think? When will the president meet the students? You don't have idea? When do you think? 1 month? 1 week? Never. You will never meet the students.
The Minister of Education
Uh-huh.
we meet
Uh-huh.
one in February.
In February.
Yeah.
So the Minister of Education will meet the students in February. Okay, perfect. Perfect. So yeah, let's hope so. Esperemos que así sea. Very good. So please make one question using like future will in this case for a possible prediction. Okay, but with a WH question, please. Thank you. No. Using just future will, but the condition is in a question using a WH question. Okay? So thank you. Jenny, entiendo que estás un poquitico perdida. Si tienes preguntas, no te preocupes, hazlas, ¿listo? Y si no, por favor, apóyate en el Catherine, que ella también es muy proyectiva en eso. Thank you. ¿Sí entiendes la actividad que tenemos que hacer?
Sería una pregunta con will y que tenga
WH. ¿Sí sabes qué son las WH? Listo. Las WH son preguntas que tú añades, por ejemplo, como qué, cómo, cuándo, para qué. Por ejemplo, acá la pregunta es, ¿el presidente se reunirá con los estudiantes? ¿Sí? Pero entonces si tú le añades otra pregunta adicional, en este caso, por ejemplo, como ¿cuándo? ¿Cuándo el presidente se reunirá con los estudiantes? ¿Sí? Very good. Do you have already your question?
Yes.
Very intelligent and student.
The question is not properly in Colombia.
Oh my god. She already has her prediction, right? That's good. Now, yeah, I mean, it's like a possible prediction, but it's in a question.
No sé si esta será así, pero when won't rain stop. Dice, ¿cuándo dejará de llover?
No. Es como muy...
Pero es que estoy diciendo, ¿cuándo
Porque-
dejará?
No, porque es que tú estás confundida. Won es para negación.
Ajá.
Tú dirás, ¿cuándo? Espera, deja leer.
¿Cuándo no
¿Cuándo
dejará
no
de-
dejará de
dejará de
llover? De llover.
Ah, ok.
Lo cambias con will. Y está bien.
Let me help you. Te voy a ayudar en ese pedacito. ¿Quién es el sujeto?
Llover.
No.
Are you sure?
Ah. La mía puede estar mal.
¿Te acuerdas cuáles son una de las 5 reglas que componen como tal toda la
Que siempre
estructura?
debe
del-
haber un sujeto. Acá no hay sujeto. Estando.
No, sí. Sí puede
Pero
ser.
no, no cambies de idea. Enfrenta ese reto de cómo se diría en inglés. Acuérdate que yo les di un truquito que cuando no hay un sujeto y estamos en el propio de cosas naturales, entonces ¿a quién colocamos como sujeto?
Y.
El gallinazo.
Bueno, no sé si este está bien.
¿Me dejaste? ¿Te puedo ayudar? ¿Ya pensaste en algo? Dale, dale.
No sé si este estará bien, pero
Yes, sir. Tell me.
why will the dog eating meat?
Why?
Why? Es que no sé cómo escribir. Es que no sé cómo era.
How do you say comer in English? ¿Cómo dices comer?
Comer.
¿Y qué tiene que ver ING con el título? Entonces, ¿cómo debe? O sea, te pregunto, en los ejemplos anteriores, ¿has visto el ING? ¿No recuerdo?
No. Pero no va.
¿No? Solamente va el verbo. Por eso le llaman futuro simple.
Simple.
Por acá el verbo y ya.
Why will the dog eat meat?
Perfect. No
Ah,
problem. Ready? No. Are you talking about a person or the country? The country, Colombia is the nationality. I am a Colombian. Perfect, very good example. And it will never happen.
Cuando la lluvia deja de llover, no.
Okay.
When we eat rain stop. ¿Cuándo dejará de llover?
Not exactly.
no,
Let me ask you something. Rain. The word rain. Is that a subject? ¿Eso es un sujeto?
Sí.
¿Qué estás tratando de decir? ¿Lluvia o llover?
Llover. Llover.
¿Y llover es un sujeto?
No.
¿Es un qué?
Es que no es un verbo tampoco.
Es un verbo.
¿Sí?
Claro, es una acción. Toda acción es un verbo.
Ah, ok.
Y ahora te pregunto, para ayudarte un poco más, ¿qué acción está pasando primero? ¿Parar o llover? Según lo que tú quieres decir.
Para.
Then you can accommodate your words.
¿Qué es lo que
Yes.
quieres decir? ¿Cuándo dejará de llover? ¿Cuándo dejará de llover? When stop?
I'm sorry, would you repeat?
When will it stop rain? Podría ser. ¿Cuándo
Yes, because it's a negative question. Remember, remember that negative questions are okay if they are in the contraction.
stop rain? Yo creo que voy a hacer.
Yes, but remember, if you're going to make the question negative, you do it with the contraction. And that's it.
Sí. When will it stop rain?
When will, okay. Now I make you again the first question. That was the primera pregunta. What is the subject? Ya casi
Ya casi.
terminas de armar.
El sujeto y llover, pero como
No, porque es que yo no es el sujeto.
no hay sujeto.
Entonces, ¿qué hacemos con
Lo
el sujeto?
acompaño con it.
It rain? ¿O es que me quedo confundido?
No, sí.
When will it stop rain?
Te voy a dar el truco. Hazte una pregunta a la vez en tu cabeza. Entonces, primera pregunta. Listo. No hay sujeto, ¿cierto? ¿Qué se coloca cuando en este caso no hay un sujeto y estamos hablando de cosas, por ejemplo, como el clima?
Y.
Ahora, segunda pregunta. ¿En dónde se coloca el sujeto?
¿En negativo?
Porque
Interrogativo.
pregunta auxiliar,
Pregunta auxiliar, sujeto.
complemento.
Correcto. Ya sabes entonces en dónde
No.
colocarlo.
Pregunta auxiliar, sujeto, verbo, complemento.
That's correct.
When will it stop rain?
Okay, good. Te falta solamente una cosa. Te falta solamente una cosa, pero no la modifiques porque eso es algo que de pronto no sabes y ya ahorita te lo corrijo.
Okay.
Pero hasta el momento 99%, esta oración está correcta.
Okay.
After sweating like 20 hours. Very good.
Claro, la estructura.
Catherine,
Pero eso que le falta está en
ayuda a
la
tu prima, por favor,
pregunta.
no la quiero ver sufriendo. Me
Pero
gustaría sufrir.
eso que falta está en esto o está en inglés.
I'm sorry. When will? Okay, listo.
¿Cuándo dejará? Le pongo stop rain. Pero lo que dice es que le falta a ella.
Sería casi lo mismo.
No, eso es una regla ya del inglés, ahorita la explico. Pues, pensar ahorita la explico.
¿Qué pronto las ella?
No, porque ya es una regla un poco avanzada. I don't think so. Yes. I'm so sorry. Mind.
Acá pasa lo mismo.
Es pensamiento, no es mente.
You have, you may use two. Puedes utilizar dos palabras. Let's say thought or mind. But if you're going to say like el pensamiento de la gente, you say like people mind or human mind.
¿Y en qué caso se usa todo?
En muy pocos, depende más del contexto.
Un ejemplo, sí.
Okay, good.
Como que tengas otra opción. Guay.
In my mind, alright, in my mind, I think that I will be the president of Colombia. Okay. Another example of thought is like based on normal thoughts. Okay. Based on normal thoughts, people wouldn't kill anybody.
¿Me entendí esa? ¿Qué quieres decir?
En
En
esta,
español.
en esta última, en thought, como en los pensamientos normales, la gente no mataría a otras personas.
Entonces, mind lo refiere como más como a lo que yo pienso.
Ujú.
El otro es más como a nivel general, ¿sí? O no necesariamente.
No necesariamente, pero sí se relaciona. Digamos que ya la única manera de diferenciarlo bien ya sería como tal en diferentes contextos. Eso ya se va aprendiendo más como con la práctica. Okay. So, finished? No?
Ese sí, ¿no?
Okay. Yeah, only one. Esa era todo.
Mira, pero es que las otras.
Si uno se hace
A
bonito
ver,
en español.
¿qué querías decir?
Pero ese,
Ujú.
lo que le pasa a Ángel
¿Cuándo
es muy común
cambiaremos el
cuando uno está aprendiendo.
pensamiento? Hablando de
Pero aquí la tienes bien. When will Colombia
El
change?
agregar el ING.
Sí, claro.
Porque,
Perfecto, sí.
porque uno dice, por ejemplo, dejará.
No, pero en
uno
este caso es
siempre
of,
intenta
change of mind.
confundirlo
El ando
con
de-
Esa es una expresión.
Es una
Cambiar el
expresión.
pensamiento, change of mind. But yeah, perfect. No problem. Okay. So finish everybody? Yeah?
When we stop right.
Okay. Very good.
Es
Perfect.
que
Sí,
no
pero
hacen eso.
en voz alta.
Que todos se escuchen.
Sí, sí. Nos reímos
Que
todos.
hablen
Okay.
ya todos.
Now let's listen everybody. So let's listen. Okay, let's play hot potato. I'm sorry, I'm going to use your hair stuff, right? Te lo vamos a hacer. We're gonna play hot potato, okay, in order to see who's gonna be our first victim, okay? Now, let's go ahead. Hot potato, hot potato, hot potato, hot potato, hot potato, hot potato, stop.
Eso es trampa, le toca.
Okay, Mr. Angel.
Repeat the-
Okay, let's repeat this. Hot potato, stop.
Nadie lo quiere decir.
Mr. Angel, please tell us your prediction. What is your, what is the question that you made that with a possible prediction?
What's your prediction?
The one that you made.
When will Colombian change of the mind?
When will Colombian change of mind?
Change of
Mind.
mind.
When will Colombian change of mind? How would you answer that question? ¿Cómo responderían esa pregunta?
What is change?
Change.
Cambiar el pensamiento.
When will Colombian change of mind? How would you make that question? I'm sorry, how would you answer that question? No, this is everybody's question.
When the Colombian study and read more the leyes,
Laws.
laws.
Or law. Maybe you say like law in general. Okay, so you say that Colombian will change of mind when Colombian study and
And read more the
and read more about law. Okay,
about.
read more about law. Okay, perfect, good answer. What else? What else?
When Colombian people
Yes. Mm-hmm.
study in general.
Okay, so when Colombian people study more, say, so they will change of mind. Okay, perfect. What else? What else do you think? Sample you, Brian, or you, Jide? ¿Cuándo cambiaremos el pensamiento de los colombianos? ¿Cuándo creen?
When Colombian people will want jealous, y como que no sea celosa,
¿Envidia o...?
Want,
be
perfect.
jealous
Excellent.
in each other, ¿cómo sería? Como entre sí.
So when Colombian people won't be jealous.
Jealous.
Okay. Yeah. Actually, it will work.
Suena igual que amarillo.
No. You
¿Cómo se
pronounce,
escribe?
you pronounce yellow.
¿Y cómo se escribe yellow? Porque suena como amarillo.
Jealous.
Ah,
Good.
¿y eso es celoso?
Mm-hmm. That's great. Now, what else? Jay, what do you think? Don't be shy, don't be shy. Okay, perfect. Now, let's continue with hot potato again. So, hot potato, 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 stop. No, you are going to receive your turn. It was your turn. It was your chance. So, what is your question?
When will informal job get over?
Again.
When will informal job get over?
Okay, very good. When will informal job get over? Get over. Get over is a synonym of disappear.
Okay.
Okay, when will informal job disappear?
Sí.
What do you think, Mr. Angel? What do you think? When will informal job disappear?
¿Cuándo desaparecerá el trabajo informal?
That's correct.
No, no creo que desaparezca.
So, what is your answer?
What is the informal job?
What is the informal job?
What is the informal job?
What is the informal job? So, you made a question, you have to answer that.
When the job hasn't the normal structure of job. For example, the people, when you see the people who buy on the street, this is informal job.
Okay.
When you are in the office, is the formal job. The opposite is
The opposite is the one that you see on the street. Okay,
Informal job.
this is informal job. What do you think?
The informal job no disappear.
Not?
Not disappear.
This is a prediction?
No. Intento decirlo en inglés, pero es difícil.
Yeah, but
No creo que desaparezca porque hay
Yeah.
muy pocas personas con esto.
Vivian,
Son
listen to me. Is that a prediction? ¿Es una predicción lo que estás tratando de decir?
sí,
Of course. Use the certain. The informal job,
The informal job
this is the subject, the informal job.
won't disappear.
Perfect. The informal job won't disappear or will not disappear. Or actually you can say like it won't disappear. It will not disappear. So Why?
No, quería decir mi complemento y eso es lo que no sé. cómo
Continue
decirlo
with your
en
complement.
español. En inglés.
So now, you already said the prediction. Now continue with the explanation. So, informal job will not disappear because
Because the people eh, ¿cómo se dice? Algunas.
some.
Some people not not the recourse for studying education superior.
So you're saying that the informal job won't disappear because some people don't have the enough resources, the money resources to study in a university?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, it's a good argument, it's a good reason. Who else? More answers to this question? It's difficult? Okay, let's continue with the hot potato, please. So, hot potato, hot potato, hot potato, hot potato, stop. Okay, what is your question, Vivian?
When will it snow in Colombia?
Oh, when will it snow in Colombia? Let me tap it for you.
It's not.
Snow.
When will it snow in Colombia? When will it snow in Colombia?
Because in Colombia,
I think because Colombian is situated in the equatorial limit.
But yeah, answer your question.
¿Cómo se
Answer your question. First of all, this is a question. Answer the question.
When the, ¿cómo se dice? Línea de Ecuador cuando uno quiere decir
Equatorial line.
Equator. Equator.
Equatorial line.
Equator line. When equator line
Equatorial line.
que queda movida. Cambié las estaciones.
So when the equatorial line is moved
It moves
and the seasons change.
in the, okay,
And the seasons change. Answer the question, Mr. Angel, please. Answer the question, please. So, answer the question.
cuando
It will snow
go to no.
Snow mountain. That's this question. Snow mountain.
He's a name, ¿no? Nevado de Gris.
Yes, but
Ahí sería.
no, it would be like Nevada de Gris Snow Mountain.
Ah,
No, no, because there are like
no,
snow
porque-
mountains around the world.
It will snow when we go to snow mountain.
Nevado de Ruiz,
Nevado.
if you want to say. Si quieres decir nevado, o sea, si es a cualquier nevado, pues sí estaría bien. To a snow mountain. Yeah, it will snow in Colombia when we go to the Nevado de Ruiz
Nevado.
snow mountain. Very good. So, who else is missing? ¿Quién falta? So, Jiret, Catherine, and no more. Who wants first? ¿Cuál de los dos fue primero?
One question.
Okay, what is your question?
¿Cómo se llama? Elegir.
Choose.
Choose.
CHOOSE. Oye, ¿tienes primero? Dale para que salga así una vez.
De una vez.
Dale, go ahead. What is your question?
When will corruption stop Colombia?
Oh, very good question. That's a very elaborated question. Brian, pay attention to this question that is very interesting. Sorry. Bridget, would you repeat? Bridget. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Jiret, repeat your question, please.
When will corruption stop Colombia?
When will corruption stop in Colombia? That's a heavy question. Dijimos que no se valían preguntas imposibles, ¿cierto? I'm just kidding. So, tell me, please. So,
Creo que mi pregunta respondí eso.
Iba a decir lo mismo. La que respondía de Cataluña. Las personas
okay. So, you say that your question is related. Es que tu pregunta está relacionada. Bueno, dile y respondemos las dos de una vez.
When the
Catherine,
Colombian people choose a good president.
repeat your question, please.
Ah, espera, que estoy preguntando. When the Colombian people when the Colombian people will choose a good president.
No. That's not a question.
When we tener que llamar o si me estaría diciendo como la if the president needs.
When
¿Cómo
will
es que se llama?
Ajá.
the Colombian people choose a good president.
Very good. Now it is a question. So, when will the Colombian people choose a good president? We have two important questions in here. Yeah, two
Cuando
possible questions. Number one, when will the when will
The corruption stop.
very good. So, when will the corruption stop in Colombia? That's the question number one. The question number two is when will the Colombian people choose a good president? So, what do you think about those two questions? How would you answer them? Yeah, because like in this country, corruption is equal to politicians, right? So,
when the people how do you say mejorar?
improve.
Okay. When the people, the Colombian people, improve, como mejoren los mensajes pensar en sí misma, sino en todos. When the Colombian people won't be,
Don't
uh,
think
don't think
on themselves. Don't think on themselves. On
o sea,
themselves.
no piensen en sí mismos,
Ujú.
sino en
But
todos.
but
But
on the rest of the people.
on the rest of people. When the people, the Colombian people think
On
on
themselves.
themselves,
Uh-huh.
but
On
on
the rest of the people.
No. Bueno, eso.
Very good, no problem. Very good. Who else wants to answer that question? No?
When the Colombian people don't interest the mermelada.
Okay, very good. When Colombian people don't interest the mermelada. Oh my God.
¿Cómo se diría eso
Mermelada.
realmente? Sí,
The thing is
es
that
que
we think, I mean, in Colombia, we
nosotros
are
lo
not,
tenemos, pero ¿cómo lo pensé? ¿Cómo se diría?
don't think on money. That's it.
Nothing
Don't
the
think on
money.
money. Yeah.
de money.
Possibility.
Nothing money.
Impossible. Yeah. Money,
Colombia.
El
dinero.
adquirir dinero.
Mhm. Yeah.
In Colombia, stop corruption when we change the politics.
Okay, in Colombia, the corruption
Stop.
will stop
The corruption will stop.
because the corruption is the subject. So, in Colombia, the corruption will stop when
When we change the politics.
we'll change the politics. Okay. I like it. Very good. Very good. So now we're gonna do a very interesting activity. So please pay attention. This is going to be 1, 2,
3,
no 1, 2,
2,
2.
and 1. Very good. Organize the corresponding groups. Thank you so much.
¿Qué pasó?
Ah,
No, change.
ya.
One change.
Donde quieras te cambio.
Okay.
Sí. Ok.
Cambio y para que y dirección se calcula.
Sí, para que
Para-
estemos un poco más nivelados.
Ah,
Yes. Ok, no, aquí quedamos los dos y nos matamos.
Okay. Oh my God. So women against what? Against men. Yeah. It's like that.
ah,
So women against men.
No.
no era la idea.
No era la idea, no.
In this case, we're gonna do the next activity. Pay attention. Please, every one of the groups, I mean each one of the groups, is going to write, okay, but quickly, just in seconds, 4 predictions. Please, copy 4 predictions in a piece of paper for you to give me the piece of paper, okay? 4 predictions, quickly, some seconds. 4 predictions. Of course, related to the Colombian culture, okay?
Ah, ok. Y Virginia, empezamos disappear. Y Colombia. Sí,
questions, 4 predictions.
¿Cómo escribir regatón?
But quickly, please.
No sé cómo se escribe. Tuviste que ella cocinaba siempre. Es que se escucha nada más. No puede ser negativo también.
Yeah, negative predictions.
Mejorar,
Improve.
improve. Ah, sí. Bien. Improve.
Avenues.
Creo que es así. O sus
Okay, give me just 3 predictions, okay? You have to hurry up. Have you got now the 3 predictions that you interest?
Sí.
Okay, good. Give me the paper, please. Here, you have the 3 predictions.
¿Cómo escribo pensamiento?
Mind.
¿Así?
No, the mind. Just mind.
Así.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you. Please choose one representative of the group. Okay? No problem. All of you will pass in here. Todos van a pasar. One representative of the group. Quickly, please. Ready?
Yo.
Quickly, quickly here. One representative of the group. Okay. Pay attention, please, to the activity. I am going to give you one sentence. Okay, I'm going to give you one sentence of the opposite group. Okay? The idea is that the representatives that are in front of you, they are going to show you, they are going to show to the corresponding groups. So it means that you show to your group and you show to your group. Okay? You're going to show with your body. Okay? With body language. Solo usando movimientos del cuerpo. You're not able to speak. Okay? Just with using the body.
No, eso está muy difícil.
Okay? You're going to show the prediction that you receive. Okay? The idea is that the group has to guess what the prediction is in English. The first group that gets the prediction wins 1 point. Okay? Ready?
Pero ¿quién le dice a quién? O-
You cannot speak.
No, sí, pero
Tú vas a actuar las predicciones de eso.
Mhm.
Y tenemos que adivinar.
pero entonces
Siento como mímica,
Ah,
pero
ok,
sin
ya.
hablar.
yo tengo que actuar las predicciones de mi grupo antes
No,
No.
you have to. Yo te voy a dar una predicción. Tú las vas a interpretar.
para
No, para
Just
nosotros.
for you.
Ah,
Pero no yo le
Okay, yeah, you cannot speak. If you speak, out of the game.
Menos.
Okay, out of the game. Very good. Please read the prediction. Ready?
ok.
Yeah? Okay.
Sí.
Please read the prediction. Ready? Yeah, the number one. Okay? Ready? You got it? Okay?
Pero todavía no hemos empezado con sus trampas.
One moment.
Pero, ¿se puede con algún objeto o no? Solo con las manos.
Con el cuerpo.
Okay, please start.
Here. The Colombian people. De Colombia.
Mediano. Representativo.
You speak.
Eat. Plan.
Bailar. Dancing.
No.
Party. Funny. Happy.
Solo. Uy, no, bueno.
Eso está muy difícil.
En un plan. Eat.
What are you imagining, Catherine?
Again.
Cabeza.
Martillo. Herramientas.
No.
You cannot speak. Dress. Vestido.
The Colombian people will
Eat. Eat. Una porción o algo. Plato.
be with
Rojo.
dancing
Largo.
will
Plato largo.
war will like
Más allá.
Impossible things.
Uno.
the Colombian people
Eat. Plato. Largo.
Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2. Okay, pay attention. I'm gonna ask you
Colombian people
for you to give them one word. Les pueden decir solo una palabra. Only one word. Of course, in English, alright? Only one word.
¿En inglés o en español?
In English. One word.
when Colombian people
Más dicho, una palabra de las que estaba dentro de la oración.
Una palabra.
Sí, solamente les pueden decir una.
cook
Okay, good.
the Colombian people will
Sorry?
work
Ready?
Yes.
¿sí?
Yes.
What?
Pero.
No, tell me.
The Colombian people will win the World Cup.
They got it. I'm sorry. Colombian people for the Colombian soccer will win the World Cup. Okay, one point for this group.
Está muy difícil.
Pero es que no
Pues
leí.
la bandeja paisa, pero.
Sí.
Bandeja paisa will disappear.
Es que es muy difícil dar.
Claro, sí, copa. Y yo,
Yo, copa.
claro, sí, me
Come
sale con
on.
la copa.
This one was very easy. I would tell you like, that's it. Simple as that.
No tengo imaginación.
Very good. Okay, next representative, please. Next representative.
Bien paisa, yo.
No, yo no tengo imaginación.
Go ahead. So, give me one moment, please. Good. I'll show you yours.
Es difícil. No, claro, ya me sé.
Ya no la ganaron. Sí, entendí.
Claro.
Porque la tenía escrita.
Now yours. One moment, please.
The Colombian people
Okay. Okay, so you have to. Okay, go ahead.
Colombian people with
Okay, go ahead.
Colombian manejar. Pasar. Mover.
de Colombian people with
Manejar, mover, cambiar, continuar.
desaparecer.
Cambiar, pasar,
You cannot speak, Brian.
Dancing?
no.
5, 4.
Limpiar,
Okay, now I may give you.
cambiar, no sé.
I'm sorry, I authorize you to say one word. Okay, one word.
Una palabra, claro.
One word. Okay.
¿La puedes decir en español?
But I mean, de lo que estaba dentro de la frase. Si estaba así, así la puedes decir.
Metro.
Ok.
De Colombian people with metro.
Metro. Ah,
Will.
tendrá metro en dos.
Will.
You cannot speak, sir.
Metro. In 2 years. In 2
dos
years.
años, 2 meses, 2 días.
20. 20.
Ah, otra vez. 2020.
2020.
2020. The Colombian
People
people will have metro en el 2000.
in
¿Cómo se dice? 2020.
2020.
Los bogotanos.
De
Bogotá.
Ah, de
Bogotá.
De Bogotá will.
Have.
De Bogotá. Los bogotanos.
No, Bogotá.
Ah,
Reggaeton.
Bogotá tendrá.
will.
No.
Reggaeton.
Bogotá
Ah,
will have metro
la he cagado.
in
Metro
2020.
2020.
Okay, yeah, they got it. I'm so sorry. Bogota will have metro in 2020. I'm so sorry, but yeah. And here it was like the reggaeton will be like more listened in some years. Alright? So sorry.
Ahí vamos, más o menos.
Yeah. But unfortunately, today women show like they have the power today. Very good. Okay, now, in this case, we're going to do our final activity. That is your final presentation. Okay, I will give you about 2 minutes because you already have practiced a lot. So you have 2 minutes to prepare your ideas. You may write or not, but at least you have to give me 2 predictions about the Colombian culture. Just 2 predictions. Okay, you have 2 minutes, and in 2 minutes you present. Thank you so much. Easier presentation for today.
No, pero me dijiste que presentar esto.
Estuvo chévere.
I'm sorry. Would you remind me your pin?
79.51.
Thank you.
7951.
Your oral presentation.
No, así en afirmativo.
Las predicciones de la comida colombiana.
¿De la comida?
No. ¿Dos predicciones más?
Sí.
Yo lo voy a
about Colombia. Okay, ready? As soon as someone is ready, please let me know, okay? Two. Ready, Vivian?
Yes.
Okay, tell us please your two predictions.
The Barranquilla Carnaval
Yes.
will most important in the world.
Will be.
Será así.
Will be the most important in the world. Okay. And the second one?
Will be most important in the world.
Will be the most.
The most.
The most important in the world. And your second prediction? The number two.
The the people will like the cocadas,
People will like
pero
cocadas.
no está como incompleto. Espera.
No, but that's okay. People will like cocadas.
Pero estoy diciendo de cuál, qué personas.
Okay,
Whatever.
Colombian people or
Pero está bien dicho. The
Yeah.
people will
people will like
like
cocadas.
the cocadas. Like cocadas or like the cocadas?
Actually, it's better cocadas, just like that.
Like cocadas.
People will like cocadas, but yes, okay, perfect. Okay, who else? Catherine, are you ready? Okay.
The beer will be the typical food in Colombia.
Beer will be the typical food in Colombia. Okay, beer will be typical food in Colombia, yeah? It's a good prediction. Number two.
The Colombian people will change the habits for recycle.
The habits, recycle. Yeah? Perfect. Excellent predictions. Ginette, your two predictions, please. No problem. Tell us the one that you have.
This
¿Tienes la que tienes?
The millennium will
Disappear.
disappear in Bogota.
That's a very true prediction. Transmilenio won't disappear in Bogotá. That beautiful transportation will be forever. Alright? Okay, very good. Brian.
Colombian people will learn
prediction. Yeah, Colombian people will speak in what?
And learn.
Speak and learn English as a second language perfectly. Very, very good prediction. Mr. Angel? I'm sorry, your second?
Colombian will have more honest people in the government and Congress.
Colombia will have more honest people
In the government
in the government
and the Congress.
and the Congress. That's an impossible prediction.
No entendí la primera parte.
Colombia
Colombia
will have
tendrá
more honest people.
que es
Honest. Honesto. More honest people
In the
in the government and the Congress.
tendrán personas honestas en el Congreso y en dónde?
In the government.
Gobernando.
En el gobierno.
En el gobierno. Y en el gobierno. En el Congreso y en el gobierno. ¿Cómo se dice?
Lie. ¿Mentira?
No, la palabra
Congress.
no.
Government.
No, la anterior. ¿De Colombia qué?
Will have more honest.
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 Okay.
Honest people. Mr. Angel?
Como si
Bogota
himno
will be free the smoke in future.
national hymn.
Will be free of smoke. Will be free of smoke in the future. Okay, yes, we hope so.
How do you say himno?
Anthem. Anthem.
And at the OM?
Anthem. That's the pronunciation. Anthem.
At the OM.
Yeah.
Y se dice anthem.
Let me show you the expression.
Anthem national. A national anthem.
That was with. Give me one moment, please. That's the right thing. I'm so sorry. A as in Angel, N as in Nancy, T as in Thomas, H as in Hotel, E as in Elephant, M as in March.
Repeat, please.
Yeah, A as in Angel, N as in Nancy, T as in Thomas, H as in Hotel, E as in Elephant, and M as in Mary. Anthem. Okay. So now,
Himno. Sí.
now students, very good. Mr. Angel, ¿tú ya me dijiste las dos tuyas? Okay, good. Thank you, please.
Colombians will be number one in the soccer.
Colombia or Colombian people? Colombian people. So Colombian people will be the number one
The number one in the soccer.
in soccer, okay?
Soccer in the
No, in soccer. Okay, but perfect. That's a good prediction. And the second one?
Yes. Finish.
¿Y la primera cuál era?
Bogota will be free of
Okay. Bogota will be free of smoke
in
in
the future.
the future.
Teacher,
Okay.
what question?
Juliet, you have one, right?
Léela para que la tengan.
Le falta una palabra porque no sabe cómo se
The
dice.
Colombian people
Yes.
will see. ¿Cómo se le dice?
Anthem.
Anthem.
Anthem. Nacional.
National.
The Colombian people will sing the national anthem
Con orgullo.
proudly. Proudly.
Proudly.
Perfect. Okay, students, homework, please. Homework. In this homework, you have to write a tale describing how Colombia will be in 10 years and while. Alright? To write a tale. What is a tale? Un cuento. Tiene que escribir un cuento
Cuento
describiendo
describiendo
cómo Colombia será
en 10 años.
en 10 años y por qué. So if you want to say Colombia will have aliens, I don't know, it's up to you. Yeah. The president will be honest, I don't know. Fairy tales, cuentos de hadas, right? So existen. So good. Ready?
Yes.
Okay, now, the best part of the class, la mejor parte de la clase y la última, evaluation. Not for you, for the teacher, right? Please, in a piece of papers, answer the following survey. Give a score for the teacher, okay? Because you said that we have pollution, that we have a lot of smoke, that we're contaminating like that we're polluting the environment, so we have to take care of that. Remember, it is not necessary that you write everything, no es necesario que escriban todo, simplemente colocan el item y el score, la calificación que le dan a su terrible teacher. No, this is anonymous. Ready? Okay, so I will pick up your service. Thank you. Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much. Thank you, students. So, thank you so much for coming. I love you so much. Have a wonderful night. Thank you.
Thank you, teacher.